What we did
for
our Women Studies creative project
was create a video in which
we interviewed people.
My name is Izzy. I go to Sac City, obviously.
My name is Michelle Ramirez, and I'm 18 years old.
Hello, I'm Captain Valerie Cox with Los Feliz Police Department.
My name is Carrie Cornwell. I'm Chief of Staff to Assemblymember Anthony Rendon. I'm in my very late 40s.
Hey, my name is Mike Marquez. I'm 67 years old.
Hello, my name is Lincoln Scott, 36 years old.
Hi, my name is Georgia Sherman. I'm 19 years old.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
My name is Moises Ramirez, or Moises Guadalupe Ramirez Velasquez. I am the Secretary of Sustainability for the Student Center.
Hi, my name is Christian Fernandez.
Greetings, my name is Mariana Souza. I am a student body president here at Sacramento City College.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a student at Sacramento City College.
My name is Jenny. I work in the Student Leadership and Development Department, and I also work in Deborah Block's office, the Associate Vice President of Student Services.
My name is Philip Wheeler.
Hi, I'm Kim Byers. I'm the Faculty Coordinator of Student Leadership and Development. And guess what? I'm a woman.
Hi, my name is Kalaisha. I'm 19 and I am studying journalism.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Hi, my name is Ann. I am 20 years old.
I am Roland Herbert and I'm a student at Sacramento City College.
with the following questions.
A feminist. I'll be honest, I haven't done much research, so it's hard for me to comment too much about it.
It could be anything.
Well, I think of, okay, well, it's kind of explicit, but it's college, so. The free the nipple thing, I mean, I think I'm kind of a big component on that because I like the idea. I like the idea of nudity not having to be necessarily sexual. I do think society, I don't know, we take things a little too seriously, and I think the whole free the nipple thing, like, I haven't done too much research on that either. This is just kind of my personal opinion. But I just like it because it's like nudity should just be a natural thing. It doesn't have to be like sexual or, you know, demeaning or whatever people think.
A political movement of the early 1970s in which my mother was involved.
First word comes to mind is Crusader.
What comes to mind from the people I've encountered and they consider themselves feminist, I think of just sexist women.
A woman who wants equal rights with men as far as working and getting equal pay.
Equal rights and pay for women. Them having the ability to work where they want to work, do the things they want, achieve the goals they want to achieve without being held down by any other type of figure who believes they are superior.
Automatically, it's the word that people make it as in, sadly, man-haters. But in all, I think feminism, more equal rights for women, for, like, yeah, I guess just equal rights.
I think of equality and rights for women.
Well, I think of equality for everyone, as for the both sexes or genders, whichever way. Right now, I know there's a gap between pays between men and women, and that's not really fair, and I would like to see more advocacy for that and any other issues that involve any gaps between the male and the female.
When I listen or hear the word feminism, it definitely brings and evokes a lot of power and energy for me.
Female empowerment.
Equal rights.
Equality comes to mind. Women who've come before me who've made life better for me today, and hopefully I can do the same for my children.
Equality, economical and social equality for both genders, or all genders.
When I think of feminism, I think of equality for people and like getting rid of stereotypes about women and like the unequal pay, the over-sexualizing of women's bodies, like making that go away.
When I think about feminists, I think of women being on par with men, having the same social, I guess, social standards, and that's pretty much it. Like, I haven't really thought about that word that often.
Automatically right now for me in my life when I think of feminism, I think of just pretty much all the different influences I've seen in literature, the misrepresentation of women in literature, the underrepresentation of women in literature, and just certain images that are depicted that like really fit well into feminist critiques.
Women looking for equal rights as men.
My definition of feminism is women, you know, like having the same equalities and same opportunity as men, and also when they're interviewed, like for our subconscious or for like our sub thoughts to not be so like, oh, if we hire her she's gonna get pregnant, oh, if she does this she's gonna think because of her hormone disbalance when she's on her period, or like all that. I want that to not be a part of our psychology when dealing with women. So my definition of feminism, I believe, is more like kind of a change in thought, our social perception, and just equality for men and women.
Women out there trying to fight for her rights, and sometimes they go a little rough, but sometimes you have to be a little rough to get your point across.
I look at it as the ongoing fight for equal rights and opportunity.
My definition of feminism, or a person who's a feminist, would be almost like an equalist or someone who's trying to get civil rights for women.
What I think about is the effort, the movement to, give women equal rights to, everything from funding that goes into, different diseases and stuff, to equal pay on the job, so on and so forth.
I mean, naturally I would think it's a promoter of women's rights. I do think, from what I have heard about feminism, I think sometimes they focus too much on women's rights, and I think we should focus on equal human rights. But like I said, I haven't done too much research, so I couldn't really.
I define feminism as like a movement that's moving towards a group of women that are trying to up our ranking in the world in general, bridging certain gaps between men and women as far as that goes.
Women embracing all their qualities to their fullest, unashamed to be who they are as women, mothers, teachers, educators, and really owning that and not having to sacrifice being a lead.
No one gender is superior to another. We all split things evenly.
I think feminism is the idea that we are all born equal and that we need to treat each other with love and acceptance regardless of who we are.
Like I said, equal rights, like equal pay, as in like a lot of times a guy gets paid more than a girl. Like girls are like, no, that shouldn't be happening. We all put in the same amount of effort, so we deserve the same amount of pay and same amount of recognition than a man.
My definition of feminism is, I believe that everybody wants to have children, and that by having children, whether they're male or female, you want them to be truly successful and achieve the goals they want to achieve and work where they want to be equal. So I believe if you want that for your children, you in turn are a feminist.
The definition of feminism is equal rights for everyone, regardless of their gender, their sexuality, race, religion, anything like that.
My definition of feminism? My definition of feminism would be like, I would just say what I said earlier, like to have equality for both men and female. Like that's what I think. I grew up growing with my mom, aunts. I've been surrounded by many of them, and I would like the same opportunities are given to men to be for this, the same for them.
For me, it's about empowerment of women. Although gender is changing and how people identify is changing, that's what I mean. But for me, as a natural born woman who understands inequality through history in America, through history in the world, being a feminist represents creating balance and equality for all genders, male and female, or however you choose to identify. As a woman, I feel it's important for me to speak up, speak out, and be extremely active about the things that women need to have an even playing field in society. Based on the social constructs around us, we can see that this world is a male-dominated patriarchal society. And for me, feminism is the direct movement, the direct activity necessary to balance out that energy to allow equality for both races. So that's what feminism means to me.
No, I'm not an activist. I'm a girly girl. I live in a very traditional household. My husband brings home the money. Feminists tend to not consider me part of the movement.
To a degree. I mean, I feel like they're equal now, but just with certain things, they're not as equal. So, I'm just gonna have to say no. I'm not.
Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't use the term typically to apply to myself because it often feels dated. It does remind me of a political movement in the 1970s, but I consider myself a believer in equal rights for women and that women should be granted equal opportunity and the historic patterns of discrimination against women should be recognized and righted. And I feel like feminism has gotten lost in the civil rights movements of the current age, and that there's this thought that women do have equal rights, but I think, you know, we've never had a woman president and we've never come particularly close to having one, and I don't feel like that is strange given the opportunities available to women at the highest echelons of our society.
I think I consider myself a humanist.
To an extent, because some girls take it too far. Like, I'm a girl, I can do everything by myself. Like, I guess that's independence, but in my view, some things are meant for a guy to do, and I might get a lot of hate for that. But when it comes to like money-wise and just, yeah, I think I do consider myself a feminist.
I guess, like, when I see like feminist posts like on Instagram or something, I like read them and like look at them, and I would support that. So I guess I would be.
I consider myself a feminist, but I make sure to define what that means, because like many things through times and generations, subcultures, things can get twisted and turned and people can redefine.
Hell yes.
I would consider myself a feminist, though not, not active politically.
To a certain point, I consider a woman should have equal rights in certain fields of life, but there's other things where women shouldn't try to get involved, like combat and military services. Because it's rough enough for a man. I hate to see what a woman would have to go through. It's very, 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 very hard. You don't want to have to have nightmares. And it's like women can have kids, men can't. There's a difference. You got to realize there is a difference between a man and a woman. And your abilities and your strength-wise, and if you go to combat and you get captured, you know what those enemy soldiers are going to do to you. So it's not going to be pretty.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. I think women should have the same, should be on par with men. Because why would men be on? Obviously, physically, they're
different, yeah.
But maybe mentally and other stuff, they should be on par.
I don't really consider myself a feminist, but I feel like I can implement all sorts of critiques when it comes to writing, because my focus in academics is literature. So I don't personally consider myself a feminist because I don't fight for rights or do protests or anything like that. So I don't really put myself in that group.
Maybe not a feminist, but I would consider myself a promoter of equal rights in general, and of all aspects. I'm talking animal rights, human rights, no matter LGBT rights, just rights in general, and just being equal. And I think that's also why I like the whole free the nipple thing, because when men walk around with their shirts off, it's not really a big deal, but if a female did it, then everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe she's doing that, that's so disgusting, it's so blah blah blah. But it's the human body, it's natural, it's beautiful, in my opinion.
Before entering the class, I never really thought of it before. I kind of just assumed that it was a beauty thing upon feminism, the no shaving thing and the no makeup thing. That's what my general idea of feminism was.
That it was just a group of women who were manly and vicious. They will get their point of view straight some way, sometimes in the positive way and sometimes in the negative way.
So originally I would see a more radicalized view due to the way people explained it to me.
So I would look at feminism and see a more extreme leftist movement. So like my partner Kevin mentioned, that it was sort of like the man-hater type of people. But then I was interested enough to get more involved into what the class would be, so I would get a more in-depth concept of what feminism really is. But I was originally fed either by the media or by professors or certain people. I was fed a wrong image of feminism. So like I mentioned, the typical man-hater woman, thing like that.
I had a more generalized idea of what it was, and it wasn't really specific. It was just like women fighting for women's rights, and that was pretty much about it.
Pretty much had the point of view, the most negative point of view there is. I thought a feminist was like were the girls with hairy armpits, and, like hairy legs, and the she-man woman haters, and the like she-woman man haters. But yeah, that was pretty much my point of view. I did know that they stood up for like women's rights, but I always thought it was only to an extreme.
That being a feminist is not only for women. There's some men that are involved as well. It's equal rights for women in society and in the work environment. There's actual organizations that help women try to get equal rights in political as well. And
now that I took class with Ms. Fairchild, I not only went in more in-depth research of what feminism really is, but I learned to identify myself within feminism and what it is. And originally I was more of that, sort of fighting for equal treatment, and I really didn't identify myself with a certain cause. But now that I see feminism and many of its ideals and its original ideology, I can identify myself as feminist, especially since I believe in equal treatment within all genders, regardless. So yeah.
After taking her class, I realized that it's like a deeper meaning of feminism, like going into the childhood unit and going into the minimum wage unit. And I realized that feminism is so much more than just the beauty standards.
Feminism is equalist, so like I think they stand up for everybody's rights, and it gives me like a whole holistic view that anybody can be a feminist, because I saw a lot of examples of what they stand for, and I feel like a lot of what they stand for is what I stand for, so I think anybody can be a feminist, and yeah.
We really went into detail about everything, all the components of feminism, and like all of the things that that contribute to feminism, and like gender roles and like catcalling and all of this stuff, and it really like enlightened me and showed me like what feminism really was, and like I find it incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.